Welcome to the Movement Driven Podcast with Dr. Greg Goldberger, where we help you bridge the gap between pain and performance. Each week, we'll share strategies, insights, and real-life applications to help you keep moving and stay driven. Now, let's get into this week's episode of the Movement Driven Podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Movement Driven Podcast. I'm Dara here with Dr. Greg Goldberger. Greg, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you, Dara?
I'm doing good. It is crazy how it's already July.
It's flying by.
Yeah, I feel like the first 2 months of the year go by really slow, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's the end of summer.
Right. I'm trying this new thing to actually enjoy the present.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's hard.
Yeah,
but I'm trying.
Very, very.
So I'm trying to enjoy my summer.
My theme for this summer was to take back the summer. So yeah. I feel like when you graduate from college, you don't, maybe the first couple of years out of college, you're still enjoying your summer because you're just bottom of the barrel.
I just thought summer's ended. But now, yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. But now that I have kids, it feels like it's coming back in a way because they have a little bit of a break.
For sure.
So I'm kind of feeding off that.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not translating too much into my work ethic here.
Well, no. I mean, you do. You have to. But it feels good.
Yeah. No, I need to decompress because then that allows me to be there for my patients.
Exactly. And I think today we're going to talk about summer and, why sometimes those summer activities might be causing pain. The weather's nicer, people are outside more, the days are longer, and, maybe you're playing more golf or you're signing up for races, you're hitting the beach, playing the pickleball, joining weekend tournaments, or just being more active than, you probably were a few months ago. And maybe you feel the same way, taking back the summer. So you're spending more time doing those things. And while that's great this time of year, when people are starting to say, I just want to have fun, and now my shoulder hurts, or I tweaked my back doing yard work, or my knee has been bothering me ever since I started running again. So let's talk about why does that happen? Why does summer seem to trigger so many injuries?
Well, I think that's you kind of laid it out there, and we're kind of talking about it, right? People do feel this sense of, hey, let me enjoy myself. And not to say there's anything wrong with any of that, but when you do try new activities or you're doing them more frequently, like you're saying, if the body's not ready for it, it's not ready for it. And so even if it's just a sand volleyball game when you're, at the beach with family that you haven't seen in a while, and you twist a knee or an ankle or something, because there's just movements that you're not used to doing. So I think that accounts for a lot of it. And then we'll talk a little bit about how heat and fatigue can definitely probably play a role if it's a little hotter than what you're used to. But I think that's it. It's hey, yeah, go have fun. But remember, you're not maybe a young spring chicken like you thought you were, and don't go so competitively at the family sand volleyball game. I know I'm talking to myself here. Have fun, go 75% intensity of what you might have done when you were 16, 17, and you should have a nice pain-free summer, hopefully.
Yeah. So do you think that when, Uncle Bob wrecks his knee because he's playing sand volleyball a little too competitively and, knocks over your 3-year-old or whatever.
I thought Uncle Bob was just going to get hurt. Now my 3-year-old got...
Yeah, everybody's hurt. So, but should people stop moving if they're feeling pain?
Well, I think in this situation, it's listen to your body. And that kind of goes back to what I was joking about before. A lot of what I see is most of the people that come across our table here are athletes, weekend warriors, or they definitely used to consider themselves athletes.
Yeah.
Maybe they no longer feel that way. But a lot of the people, they do love to be competitive, and they just have that in their nature, whether it's just at a CrossFit workout or playing pickleball or golf or whatever. And so I do see this realistic need of hey, tone it down a little bit. Don't go so aggressively and you're just having fun. And know when to draw the line. If it's just something that's for fun and you tweak something, take a rest. You don't need to push through. It's not D1 baseball tournament and you're trying to get it's freaking just go sit on the sideline and root on your family. Right. I think there's to the athletes out there, stop being an athlete all the time. But again, I'm talking to myself. But if you're hurt, you need to listen to your body, and it's not don't stop. We say this all the time. rest is not the right answer. We don't want to just completely stop. We want to have active rest. But in the moment, yeah, rest for now, and let's figure out what's going on
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly. So you mentioned earlier that we're going to talk a little bit about how the heat and humidity
Yeah.
is goes into play. So how does heat and humidity affect injuries or the potential for you to get an injury?
Like when the heat when it I mean it was really hot this weekend. You said you're at the beach, right? I, I was
Yeah,
I was
it's
at the
very
pool
hot.
most of the weekend. It was hot. Um and so you get out there, and even when you've been working out, if you've been working out indoors or in a controlled climate, you're not used to how your body might react. So it's not as much as um you're just going to get more injured. It's like your body's not necessarily prepared to operate and function under those circumstances. So you're going to have increases in heart rate, and then you're going to have more fatigue, and you're sweating differently, and then maybe that leads to reduced coordination, or your movement patterns are just a little more sluggish. And even if it's just 5-10%, but then you add in, oh, we're doing new activities, we're doing more activities, like things are just stacking up to be more risky.
Right.
And it's not, again, I want people to I'm not trying to take people's fun summer away. Go out and have fun, just be smart about it. But if it is hot, obviously, like, know that your body's not moving as efficiently as it probably does in other controlled environments.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Um, so let's, kind of circle back to that like increase activity too quickly. Um, for the summer, for those who are gonna, take it a little bit more hard at the vacation volleyball game, just as the example we keep
Mhm.
using, what's a smarter way to increase activity without just going from like walking around your neighborhood to running marathon?
Well, I mean, I think progressive overload is the term that always comes to mind for that. We
Mhm.
need to just have steady overload, or steadily progressing the impact on our bodies so that our bodies are more resilient and used to taking certain forces under certain loads in certain directions repeatedly.
Mhm.
I think in the case of summer, like the volleyball thing is, if you're just going to play that one time, then hey, have some fun.
Right.
But if you're picking up, hey, like I haven't played pickleball yet, and me and a few friends are going to start going every weekend this summer, well, now you're talking about a big increase in potential impact or lateral movement, and maybe you haven't done any of that. Maybe you are working out,
Mhm.
but you're not necessarily leaving the ground, changing direction. That's a whole new um, category of movement patterns and stresses that you're putting on your joints and ligaments and whatnot. And
Yeah.
so if you go from, hey, I haven't done any of this in maybe 10 years, and now I'm going to do it every single weekend, twice a week, or whatever it is throughout a hot summer.
Mhm.
Again, it's just when you start to compound all of these different variables, you need to be aware of it. And so start small, work your way up, just if you're starting pickleball, if we're staying in that example, maybe you're only going for an hour once a week, and then you're starting to pick up the pace while you're there. Oh, now I'm really trying to increase my intensity, less rest breaks. Now I'm going twice a week, and by the end of the summer, you're peaking and you're feeling good going into fall.
Yeah.
But I mean, then this is true in anything we've talked about. With Tommy John, always comes up in spring training more than in midseason, and so it's all about increasing volume too quickly. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Progressive overload. Just slowly start integrating these new activities into your lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure. So just with that, what would you say for the weekend warrior, for the, vacation guy, whatever the case is, like that are whatever the increase of activity is for the summer, what would your top 3 injury prevention tips be?
My top 3 injury prevention tips. I think we always have to have a basis of strength training. A lot of people that come in here are not getting enough of that. My CrossFitters come in, and you could argue they're getting plenty of that. They're getting hurt for maybe poor form, or just too much dynamic movement. But a lot of the time, even like my F45ers or Orange Theory people that come in, there's so much cardio and so much speed that's built around those programs. And the more, I think, the marketing behind those, and not that there's anything wrong with it at all, but they're more attacking, hey, come in, get a hit style workout, get your heart rate up, burn calories, lose weight, feel good. It's not necessarily get really strong.
Right.
You just can't do all of it in 45 minutes
Yeah.
or an hour. Some of these things, like I said, it's better than not moving. I work with these gyms all the time. They're great gyms,
Hmm.
but you need to have some actual strength training in your programming, especially as you get older, to handle these impact drills and to make your body more resilient to these new activities that you might be implementing. My second tip is going back to what we were just talking about is like just progressive overload. Don't increase any new activity or even an activity that you've just taken a break from. Don't
Right.
do that too quickly.
Hmm.
And then I guess the other thing is like, and we kind of touched on this too, is ignoring those small signs. When you're young, you get a little ankle sprain, you're back on the field in a day. Like you feel fine, your body just responds better.
Yeah.
And as we get older, cells just don't do the same things they did 20, 30, 40 years ago. And so when you start getting little aches that feel out of ordinary and they're not rebounding after a couple of days, you should probably act on them by seeking help and being more proactive rather than waiting. Oh, now this thing's been around for 3 or 4 months. Now I'm compensating. Now I've changed my activity. That just makes my job more difficult. And
Right.
you don't want my job to be more difficult
Right.
because then that means your rehab is more difficult.
True.
And I joke because like that could mean, hey, we need more needles and more hands-on and more, hey, no pain, no gain kind of mentality.
Right.
Or hey, you just sprained it last week. Let's just facilitate the healing pattern the right way. Make sure compensations don't, and then you're back to good as new by the
Yeah.
time you're done healing.
Yeah.
And so that's always easier. So don't ignore those little aches and pains, and let because then they turn into big injuries,
Yeah.
not just little aches and pains.
Yeah, no, for sure. Especially as like one thing that I've noticed, it was like I'll be 33 this year, but it was like when I turned 30, I was like, what's everybody talking about turning 30? And then when I turned 31, I was like, oh, that's what everyone's talking
That's
about.
so funny because like in my it used to be it used to be 60 and then it was 50. Like as I've been in this career longer, like the age is deep, but you think it would be getting better because more people are doing better, but
Yeah.
like I
Well,
don't know what it
do you
is.
think that maybe because, 20, 30 years ago, we had little, like, we have had less information of what strength training can do
Yeah,
and what it, on a good and bad way of it, or not strength training. And then people maybe didn't start to like do that until they were older, but now people are doing it when they're younger.
it could be
So,
that. It
yeah,
could just be also like different standard.
maybe the
Like
food we're
people,
eating.
well, or the crap. Move to Europe and get better food kind of thing. Or it's just like the standard of like the 30-year-olds now. It's like the second they feel bad, they are acting on it.
Yeah, that's true.
Versus
More
maybe 10 years
knowledge.
ago, I don't
Yeah,
know what it is. I think there's a few factors there.
yeah,
I think the more knowledge does help people be more proactive, and that's part of why
yeah,
we're doing this podcast. And
yeah.
um, but then I think part of it is too is now you see things like we talked about this, like LeBron James doing 41. So like, okay, he's playing at that, and I can't even roll out of bed
Yeah.
at 31. Like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
Yeah.
And so there's a disconnect there, but it's all of these
Yeah.
factors, I
No, I think
guess.
you made a good point when you were saying how people are paying more attention to their pain early on.
Yeah.
Because like, 30 years ago, 30-year-olds were maybe already had 5-year-old kids and in their career. And it would just, there's a lot more people that are in their 30s that don't have kids yet that are still trying to be like they're in the best shape of their life in their
Mm-hmm.
30s and, growing
Mm-hmm.
in that. So there's more of this like take care of yourself kind of mentality that I think has been growing in popularity over the last like 16 years,
For
you
sure.
know?
And well, and now that you like, as we're saying, talking about, I've thought about this lately. I've noticed a lot more like late 30 something, early 40 something coming
Hmm.
into our clinic lately. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've noticed that.
Yeah.
Lots of people with young kids, like wanting to be
Yeah.
active with their kids, and they have shoulder pain, they can't throw the ball. I'm like, no, I'm going now.
Yeah.
And then some of them will talk about I want to be active in when I'm 80, 90. I don't
Hmm.
want to do what I just saw my grandparents or my parents do.
Right.
And so I'm hearing a lot more of that. And so like, but it's interesting because like that's just a trend in the last 4.5 years since I opened this practice. Like
Right.
I would
Yeah.
say even in the last couple of years, I've been seeing this trend. So who's to say if COVID had a major impact on the way people have been thinking?
True.
I know it's in fact affected the way I've thought about things.
Yeah.
So like we could launch this into its own podcast, I guess, or its
Absolutely.
own episode.
Yeah, for sure. So I think just to kind of, land the plane on this episode with this being summer and more kind of potential for injuries. I think, if you're the person that's listening to this and you're like, oh wow, like that's me. I kind of tweak things and then I don't really do anything about it. Or I did notice how I'm feeling differently because I'm increasing my pain, absolutely go to movementdriven.com, book a discovery call with Dr. Greg, or just give us a call and get yourself an eval. All podcast listeners get their first appointment for $79, and it is an hour long, your full body movement assessment. And, then do it before your next vacation so you can outrun your nieces and nephews.
To that point, I will say act on it now, because like when people really come in is like after the kids get settled in the next year of school.
Yeah.
Like that second, third week of school, we as a profession, not just movement driven, like as a profession, we get really busy. People are ignoring us during the summer sometimes. So in between your vacations, like Dara said, so you can enjoy your next vacation and enjoy the summer and try to capitalize like we are attempting to. Come on in. It's a 15-minute discovery call on the phone, and we'll get you in for a quick eval, and we'll get you better that first visit. So come on in and we'll get you feeling good.
Yeah, awesome. All right, Dr. Greg, thanks so much. This was a great episode. Lots of information in a short amount of time, so I'm here for it, and we'll try to keep these summer episodes short so that we can keep you moving and keep you driven. So thanks so much, guys.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks for tuning in to the Movement Driven Podcast with Dr. Greg Goldberger. Want to see how we're helping people in Jacksonville bridge the gap between pain and performance? Head on over to movementdriven.com. Until next time, keep moving, stay driven.